Hey guys, I have a fun counting book for you today. And you remember, whenever I say a number, I want you to count along with your fingers, right? This is called These Rocks Count by Alison Formento, illustrated by Sarah Snow. Mr. Tate's class loves taking field trips. Today, they went for a hike. Everyone stared up at a giant boulder. It was tall, almost as tall as Mr. Tate. A woman joined them on the path. "Hi, I'm Ranger Pedra. Are you ready to hike and find rocks?" Shin tightened her shoelace. "Hiking's fun." Eli said, "I've got my walking stick." Jake tried to climb the boulder. "This one is too big for our rock garden." Natalie stretched on her tiptoes. "Is this the biggest rock in the world?" Ranger Pedra smiled. "Some rocks are even bigger. They're mountains like this one." Mr. Tate held a pebble in the palm of his hand. "They can be tiny, too." Amy kicked a stone into the trees. "Rocks are boring." "I thought that once, too," said Ranger Pedra. She pulled a heavy lump from her backpack. "It sparkles," said Natalie. "This is a geode," said Ranger Pedra. "Rocks don't all shine like this one, but they all have a story inside." "Rocks don't talk," said Amy. "They do talk," said Ranger Pedra. "We have to listen with our eyes and our hands." She touched the boulder. Mr. Tate and the children did too. "What do you feel or see?" asked Mr. Tate. "I see colors," said Eli. "It's dirty," said Shin. "And bumpy," said Natalie. Ranger Pedra moved her fingers across the boulder. "Every speck is part of this giant rock's journey. It moves and changes just like you." A breeze tickled the air around them. Pebbles crunched under their feet. Everyone listened to the boulder. This is what they heard. "One sculptor chips and molds, making art from hard stone. Two trucks churn cement, poured for a new building site. Three busy beetles chew on moss-covered stones. Four seaside mounds dry into table salt. Five hatchlings from a sandy nest make tiny turtle trails to the sea. Six cave spears aim low, dripping water that glows." "My family went to a cave," said Jake. "Shh," said Shin. She pressed her hand on the rock. "The boulder has more to share." Seven rough gems, polished bright as stars. Eight pieces of slate make a nice sidewalk. Nine heavy bricks, stacked just right. 10 panes of glass shine in a new home. Gems or glass, stone or sand, small or grand, in water, on land. Rocks are nature's building blocks. "What did you hear?" asked Mr. Tate. "Rocks count," said Amy. "What else is special about rocks?" asked Ranger Pedra. "Some are shiny," said Natalie. "Yes, gems for jewelry come from rocks. Rocks can also tell us about the age of the world." "How?" asked Shin. "By looking at rocks in places like the Grand Canyon," said Ranger Pedra. "Layers of rocks show how much time has passed, just like the rings inside of a tree." "Do you remember when we talked about the rock cycle at school?" asked Mr. Tate. Shin picked up a handful of pebbles. "That's when rocks change." "We made up a poem about it." Eli clapped his hands and chanted, "Hot or cold, wind, snow, and rain, rocks get old, cycle of change." I like that one. "Rocks are always changing," said Ranger Pedra, "just like you." She pointed at the rocks Shin held. "It can take millions of years to form rocks like these." Mr. Tate sat on a big rock. "Granite is used for building. Can you name some of the other ways we use rocks?" "For roads," said Natalie. Jake said, "My mom cooks with rock salt." "They're building a new statue at the library," said Amy. Rocks and minerals are used inside phones and computers too, said Mr. Tate. What about cars or planes? Asked Eli. Or trains? Ranger Pedra nodded. Rocks and minerals are even used to make toothpaste. Wow, said Amy. There's more to rocks than I thought. Ranger Pedra smiled. Now you're ready to identify rocks. Mr. Tate showed them a rock guide. We'll take pictures of what we find. The class hiked up Rocky Ridge Mountain. They searched, found, and photographed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different kinds of rocks. On the hike down the mountain, they stopped at the big boulder. Jake patted the huge rock. Thanks for sharing your story. And for the great things you give us, said Shin. Like shiny gems, said Natalie. Amy gently touched the boulder. Rocks aren't boring at all. I'm sorry I said that. Ranger Pedra smiled. A breeze blew, and a few stones skittered down the mountain path. Eli climbed on the boulder. Rocks rock. Oh, man, that was some cool stuff in there. Did you know that there are rocks that go into the making of toothpaste? What about glass? Did you know that when you look out a window, you're looking at rock, basically? Enjoy your day. Find some cool rocks.